Colorado. Denver, Stapleton Airport, July 19th, 1989. The DC-10 making Flight 232 today is in its 17th year of service and has flown over 43,000 hours. So far, without incident, Flight 232 is busy today. It's carrying 285 passengers and 11 crew. They taxi out to the runway and await the takeoff clearance. At 2:09 p.m., the three-engine jet flies out of Denver.
The morning we left Denver, it was clear skies, beautiful day, nice smooth air, comfortable flight, just a routine flight.
What the hell was
Suddenly, out of the blue, a terrifying blast rips through the plane. There's no sign of any visible damage inside the plane, but up in the cockpit, Captain Haynes scans the engine instruments and quickly realizes that his number 2 engine is malfunctioning.
I've never had a jet engine fail in flight, only in the flight simulator, never in flight.
But this time, it's happening for real. 3:17 p.m. Captain Haynes' priority is to shut down the problem engine. He's not too worried. The DC-10 can fly comfortably on its remaining 2 wing-mounted engines. Haynes follows the shutdown procedure and cuts off fuel and power to the number 2 engine.
We've lost all hydraulic pumps.
His instruments tell him that all 3 of the plane's hydraulic systems are empty. He cannot believe his eyes. The hydraulic systems operate the plane's flaps, ailerons, rudder, and elevator. Without these controls, the pilots won't be able to steer the plane. It's every pilot's nightmare. Flight 232 is at 11,000 meters and out of control. If its left wing continues to lift, the plane will flip over and tumble to its doom. Air traffic control informs the flight crew that their nearest runway is at Sioux Gateway. This is a small regional airport near the sleepy town of Sioux City, Iowa. Denny Fitch will attempt to steer the plane and control its descent, all by adjusting the throttles. What's more, the plane can only make right-hand turns. The plan is to make a series of looping turns and hope that as they come out of their final circuit, they're facing the runway. The odds are stacked against them. Air traffic control assigns them runway 31 at 2,700 meters. It's the longest at Sioux City. 3:52 p.m. Denny Fitch puts the plane into its final looping turn. There's just one problem. It's the wrong runway. Captain Haynes orders the passengers into the brace position.
Brake.
Just seconds from landing, the nose and right wing drop. If they come in at this angle, the plane could break apart. The right landing gear and wing shear off, spilling fuel and sparking a fire. The jet careers along the runway on its wing stump for about 600 meters, then breaks apart. The plane is split into 3 main pieces: cockpit, tail section, and middle passenger section. Al Haynes and the flight crew are determined that something positive should come out of the tragedy.
I would like to say that this crew, and in fact the entire industry, is dedicated to finding the cause of this accident, so maybe we can never have it happen again.
Pressurized fluid inside hydraulic lines operates these mechanical controls. There are 3 separate and independent hydraulic systems. Even if one system is breached, it should not cause the loss of hydraulic fluid in the others. To lose fluid from all 3 systems at once is almost impossible. Experts put the odds at 1 billion to 1. Components from the number 2 hydraulic system in the tail near the failed engine. They go back to the wrecked plane and examine every millimeter of its hydraulic lines. It's a painstaking process, but it pays off. They find puncture holes in the pressure lines of the plane's other 2 hydraulic systems, and the holes in both sets of pressure lines are near the failed engine.
But it was clear that pieces of the ruptured fan disc assembly, including the fan blades, are what created the holes and are what damaged the hydraulic lines.
Housing. The blast fractures a section of the number 2 hydraulic system. But in a piece of catastrophic bad luck, fragments also puncture lines in both remaining systems. Investigator Jim Wildey examines a tiny cavity in the fractured fan disc from Flight UA-232. What he finds stuns him. Around the cavity, there is an impurity in the titanium alloy. It's called a hard alpha inclusion, a brittle defect smaller than a fingernail. Analysis reveals that it was caused by excess nitrogen during the forging of the metal ingot. It's the final piece of the puzzle. The fan disc has been in service for 15,503 flights over 7. The crack reaches 13 millimeters in length. The faulty fan disc can no longer cope with the stresses imposed by its rotation. It shears in two.